Today I'm going to show you how you can get super realistic renders inside of your Blender workspace using Claude. For example, this environment right here, this staircase, was generated all by Claude. And to just show you guys, this is my viewport render where we have the actual scene right here. If we go into our solid viewport, you can see it built out this little scene for us. I've been getting this a lot in my comments, people asking, how do you get these super realistic renders from Claude? I'm prompting it and it's just giving me really bad outputs, and there's a right way to do this. And it all comes down to how you structure your Claude Code projects when connected to Blender. So for example, this is my Blender projects folder. As you can see, if I open up my projects, I have a ton of different projects. Each one is organized, separated, so Claude can go in and find what it needs. And each one is completely different. So this one was, I was trying to recreate an Air Force One real style educational video, and it has a bunch of different files that Claude had created, including the Blender files, all of the reference images that I used, and some of the MD files that it wrote for this specific script. Or for example, the one I just showed you, the subway stairwell, this one has subway scripts, so the architecture, the walls, the fixtures, the render. I'm going to get into this a little bit more with this W1 to W4. This stands for workers, so worker 1 to worker 4. And I'm going to show you how we can create essentially a workspace of agents that work inside of your Blender viewport. But again, just a very simple subway stairwell that I recreated. This is the render from what I just showed you. So it's a really good output. I'm super happy with it. So organization is very important inside of your Claude projects. And inside our .claude folder, we have the skills, which are the most important part. And so I only have 2 skills in here right now because this is a new project. This is how Claude is going to set up your Blender projects efficiently. And then the most important skill, which is the Blender agent teams. This is how I get super realistic, efficient, cost-effective outputs inside of my Blender viewport renders. This skill walks Claude through how to work with agent teams inside of Blender. Essentially what this skill does is it teaches Fable 5 to become the director of many sub-agents. Fable 5 will never execute any code inside of Blender. It'll utilize Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku as sub-agents. For example, if Claude needs to render out one image to double check what it's creating is correct, it does not need to use Fable. Fable is going to cost a lot more credits and it's going to drain your bank account. So instead of this agent team skill manages Fable as the director, again, never executing any code inside of Blender, and then utilizes Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku as its sub-agents. So if we look in our projects, I'll just show you from this staircase example, we can see this MD file, which is the subway stairwell spec, and it walks it through how Fable should direct these other agents and determines what Fable is going to assign these agents for. So Opus was maybe for the lighting and the atmosphere. Sonnet might have been for the geometry nodes on all the tiles. And so Fable is able to decide, utilizing its credits effectively, what these agents are allowed and not allowed to do while directing everything through a step-by-step process. Now, a lot of people, like I had mentioned before, were asking, how do I get these renders super realistic? And I do want to point you to the link in the description below, which is my free school community where you can get this exact empty Blender project setup folder completely for free. It will have the 2 Blender agent teams and the new project Blender with the project folders and templates. So you can connect your Blender MCP to Claude, have it run through this folder only, and get realistic, high quality outputs instead of the AI slop that you're seeing everywhere else. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's actually prompt something. So what I'm going to do next is now we have to essentially train Claude. And this is how we build up Claude's knowledge on Blender tutorials. Again, you can't just throw in an empty prompt to Claude and say, hey, build me this forest. The output is going to be terrible because you're not giving it any context. And so my best process of what I'd like to do is I'll go to a Blender creator or a tutorial online. So take a screenshot just as a reference image for this video. Head back into your Claude session, copy that image, and paste that in. Next, you're going to open up that video and copy the link right here. And then you're going to paste that link in. So like I was saying, we're going to be teaching Claude as if it was a beginner, like if you were a beginner 3D artist trying to learn how to build in 3D. I always mention this in videos. Claude is not here to replace you working. Claude is here to act as an assistant, and it's going to get smarter over time as you feed it more context. Because Claude has the tools to analyze video and understand text and workflows based off of text that it can then execute in Blender, it can be utilized to build scenes like this very easily. But again, it's not here to replace you. Do not let Claude do everything for you. You do need to know the fundamentals of Blender. So if you have not watched this video, make sure you watch it first to understand the fundamentals before you start prompting and building actual 3D scenes inside of a Blender viewport. Now, the next thing I need to do is prompt it. And it's a very simple prompt because we're feeding it a reference image and then we're giving it a reference video for it to pull a transcript from and build a scene out of. So this is what I'm going to prompt Claude. I want you to analyze this YouTube video, download it, understand what the context is behind building scenes like this, and then execute that code inside of Blender. Utilize the video and the reference image as the direction of the scene environment that I want. Make sure you are utilizing the agent teams. Fable 5 never executes any code inside of Blender. It just manages a team of agents such as Haiku, Sonnet, or Opus, assigns them roles, and Fable 5 directs. So again, it's not super in-depth, it's not super crazy. Because we have the Claude MD and the skill MDs in our project file, it can use those to reference and analyze what it needs to do to build a Blender scene. So I'm gonna shoot this off and come back when it's done. So something I wanna show you is I just stopped the Claude session and asked, how far along are we? And as you can see, it's saying it's 40% through, but Worker 4 and Worker 1 are in progress on writing the camera, light world, compositor grade, flicker, and the architecture, which Opus is writing. So I just want to showcase that now we have two separate agents working on two separate sets of things that we're going to implement into the Blender session, saving us time and money. We're not relying on just one agent doing all of the work. And boom, we get an output just like this. I was having a problem with the tiles originally. They were like, Claude was having a hard time. So if you do have a problem with that, just iterate with Claude and explain exactly what's going on. But just like that, you can create these realistic environment scenes inside of Blender utilizing Claude. So I recommend downloading that package in the link in the description below and setting up your Blender system so you can start building scenes like this. It's super popular right now with the whole liminal space trend and Backrooms, the movie that came out just a few months ago. People are like recreating these type of like scary-ish scenes. So it's really cool stuff. So let me know what you're going to create inside of Blender utilizing Claude. If you found this video resourceful, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.